Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of the MCR. Mac and me. My name's TJ. And in this segment, I'd like to share our thoughts, my thoughts, on an event that kind of played out last week. Last week in Washington, D.C., the House Foreign Affairs Committee, whether you want to call it, had a hearing or a roundtable meeting, an opportunity for Gold Star families to get things off their chest, I would tell you, because that's kind of what it looked like to me. Just so everyone knows what we're talking about, Gold Star families, parents who have lost sons and daughters overseas in whatever conflicts they were involved in, primarily Iraq and Afghanistan.
Doesn't that also include husbands and wives? Or is it just parents?
Well, you know what? I think you're right. In this occasion, it involves a father.
Right.
But yeah, because they'll call them Gold Star families. So yeah, I would agree with that. But the person I want to, in particular for this segment, I want to talk about a Gold Star father by the name of Mark Schmitz, Schmitz, and he's the father of a now deceased Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz. That was his son. And well, I'll tell you what, he had some profound thoughts and things he wanted to get off his chest for certain. His son was one of the 13 service members that were killed with that, I think it was a suicide bomber that attacked Kabul in the chaotic withdrawal. It was Vietnam all over again, if you ask me.
Yeah, it looked a little less organized than the withdrawal from Saigon.
Well, you know what? And I know we're getting off topic here, but there was a picture of a helicopter lifting off from the embassy in Saigon, and it looked no different than the helicopter lifting off from Kabul. I mean, the two pictures next to each other, while they were different locations, it infuriated me just looking at it. Okay, as knowing what we know, it sucked. Okay, back to the topic here. In any event, this Marine Lance Corporal, the son, had gotten killed, and his father, Mark Schmitz, had the opportunity to say a few things. And I'd like to, if down in the comments section, we do have the link to the Gateway Pundit article. And in the Gateway Pundit article, you can see the video of him going off. And I'm going to read a portion of his statement here. But if you want to see the entire video, go to the link, go to the article, and you'll see the video contained within this article. Okay. The father, Mark Schmitz, when it was his turn, he says, "I identify as a father, a husband, a pissed off, fed up American patriot, and now thanks to this administration, a Gold Star dad, a title no one ever wants to have. Not a single general slapped down their stars, which should have happened 2 years ago when Biden ignored his reliable intelligence. Not a single person has been held accountable. Our so-called leader can't seem to even utter their names in public, not even once. Mr. Biden has run his entire political campaign for 50 years as the family man. Well, I've got news for you, sir. The curtain has been lifting, and that campaign slogan will never work again. We have seen what's going on in your family, and even worse, We have seen how you've been treating us as Gold Star families. And there couldn't be anything more disgusting and cowardly than the way you have treated us. You are a disgrace to this nation. You have no business having ultimate command over our military. And I regret not saying that to your face when I had the opportunity in Dover. It felt more important to bite my tongue. But I also had more important things on my mind at that time, like receiving my son's lifeless body. I'm going to do a little side note here. When he mentioned Dover, it might have been the C-130, whatever transport aircraft they were using, landed. The Gold Star families were there to, receive their deceased sons and daughters, whoever might have passed. President Biden was there at the time to also meet them and the jet, or the plane when it landed.
As a photo op only.
Yeah. And then I continue with Mark Schmidt's comments here, because this is where it gets juicy. Also, be forewarned, there will be foul language, because I'm not going to sugarcoat what he said here. Okay, so I just want to forewarn everyone. While I stood there on the tarmac, watching you check your watch over and over again, all I wanted to do was shout out, "It's 2:30, asshole." But out of respect of the other grieving families, I bit my tongue once again. He had a few more things which I won't read, but I'll just say this. In closing, this is Mark Schmidt said, in closing, Mr. Biden, Secretary Austin, Secretary Blinken, if trusting and supporting our military is too difficult for you, then I suggest you pack your shit and enjoy your retirement. Because from where I sit on my perch, the noose around your doubled down notion that this was an extraordinary success looks like it's tightening a little bit more each day, each and every day. And I would just like to say, and when you watch the video of this guy, he's about ready to break down in tears. He's sniffling a lot. He could barely maintain his composure from what I saw in the video. And, it's just infuriating to hear him say those words, and you feel like you're reliving that day when things were just going to hell in a handbasket over there in Afghanistan. Your thoughts, Matt?
Well, let me comment on his comments. He said, get your shit packed. Well, I'd like to see them get their shit packed in a federal prison. That would be justice. What they've done, this young Marine, God rest his soul, was his life was laid on an altar of sacrifice of corruption by what President Eisenhower warned us would happen with the military-industrial complex and the corrupt Washington, D.C. scum, the swamp, in other words. Hillary Clinton didn't do anything really any different when she stood at the coffins as Secretary of State and lied to people right to their damn face, saying Benghazi was all about a video. She knew that was a lie when she said it. And you know what? I hope she ends up in a federal prison before her justice comes. Because you know what? You might get away with it here, but someday they're going to stand in front of God and they're going to be judged. And I don't think it's going to go well. Just guessing.
One more thing, kind of in closing here. Jared Schmitz, the son, the Marine, he was a Lance Corporal, which is an E3. He was just 20 years old at the time of his death. And he was only 6 months old. This is what the Gateway Pundit's reporting. He was only 6 months old the day 9/11 occurred.
Wow.
Kind of puts into perspective just how long this went on. Man, the kid was still in diapers the day of 9/11, and then 20 years later dies in Kabul with a suicide bomber.
Well, I have one question. What I'd like to know out of all this, because what's done is done, and none of us can change it. Just how much did the Taliban pay Hunter Biden or Joe Biden to pull the hell out of there and leave them $80 billion worth, or 8 billion, I forget the number, billions of dollars worth of top grade military equipment for them to kill Americans with? That's what I really want to know. How much money, how many pieces of silver has Joe taken to sell out this country?
If y'all get a chance, kind of watch this video. Like I said, just go to the link. Takes you to the news article. In the news article contains and the video goes for about 1 minute and 40 seconds, okay? Because he says other things too, and I didn't want to try and say, say everything he said, but it's just a really, I don't know, you just got to really feel bad for the father, and you see the pain he's experiencing. I don't have any children, but I think Matt could say, the worst thing in the world is for you to outlive your children,
100%.
and for whatever reason that they leave too early in life. But anyways, that's all I got for this one. Touche to the father here for saying it like it is, and and he said, he was mentioning how he bit his tongue, and in one of his statements, he was saying, he goes, well, I'm not biting my tongue any longer. He goes, I'm through biting my tongue, and that's when he let loose. So that's all I got for this one, and we'll catch you in the next segment. As always, be safe, watch your six, and don't tread on me.